Josh Bolander sitting alongside our daily Iowan Man of the Year, Fran McCaffery. And Fran, you're an East Coast guy. You grew up in Philly. You coached on the East Coast. Had a chance to take over a Big East school. Why the Midwest? Why Iowa?
For a lot of reasons. I had a chance to live in the Midwest when I was an assistant at Notre Dame for 11 years. I really enjoy living in the Midwest. It's a great place to raise a family. So from a personal standpoint, it was a very easy decision. From a professional standpoint, it was also an easy decision because of the history of Iowa basketball, which I was very familiar with. Restoring that tradition was a challenge to me, but also coaching in the Big Ten. Clearly the best conference in the country right now. With our own network, I was arriving at a time when we had a new facility being built for practice, new strength and conditioning facility, so the timing was great. I'm a firm believer in that in today's world of college athletics, I think you need to be at an institution that has football. I've been at both. I've been at football schools and schools that don't have football. And I think most people think that basketball coaches prefer to be where basketball is the number one sport. And I just think you need to be where you have a great football program, you have a great wrestling program, women's basketball. I mean, you go across the board, golf, softball. We're good in so many things, and that's the environment I want to be a part of.
Coach Eric May came to the program at a time that the football team was actually winning more games in their season than the basketball team. Take me back to the United Center. You're playing Michigan State. You have the lead in the second half. It slips away. What's that conversation like with Eric in the locker room after the game?
It was a very disappointed locker room. It was we were upset on so many different levels. Had a lead, weren't happy with some calls. It was frustrating. I knew we were going to keep playing. I thought we still had a real good chance for the NCAA tournament. So it was nothing where we talked about an end of anything by any means. It was, we're disappointed. We've accomplished great things. We finished 9-9 in the conference. We finished with over 20 wins. We're going to be playing. Let's take a minute. Let's take a day and just recover and come back hungry. Whatever tournament we're in, we're going to be hungry. We're going to compete. And we're going to go places. We're not going to be one and done.
Okay. Let's talk some Peter Jok. Kids getting scholarship offers when he's 13 years old in junior high. I'm going to go to the notes here. You said, quote, after you guys got his letter of intent, he's got a complete skill set. We're talking about somebody who has a chance to be really special. I see Peter as the guy who ultimately replaces Devin Marble. Well, Devin Marble's back next year. Do you worry that there's not going to be enough shots to go around?
I think we'll have plenty of shots for two reasons. Number one, if you just look at those two players individually, both very unselfish, both really like to pass the ball. Dev, I think if you asked his preference, he would prefer to be a point guard. Gives it up easy. Times I have to tell him to shoot more. Peter's the same way. But what Peter does is provide us with somebody, again, who can play more than one position at his size. He can also give us another three-point shooter who can make a play off the dribble for someone else. Not every three-point shooter can do that. Josh can do that. Marble can do that. Mike Gasell can do that. And that's the kind of players that we recruit. Versatile, multi-position players, interchangeable parts. That way you're never going to have difficulty against full court pressure.
You and your team shared a really special moment, actually, before your second round NIT game with Stony Brook. Why do you think it's important that your team connects with fans like Alice Weber?
We're in a very unique situation here at the University of Iowa. There are so many Hawk fans throughout the state, and so many people connect with our program. We have the Hope Lodge and the Ronald McDonald House right across the parking lot. So this isn't the first time we've done this. But to have a woman who essentially has about a week to live say that she wants to spend that with her Hawkeyes, it's an overwhelming feeling. And what was so special to me, we can set those things up, but the key is, how do the players respond to she and her family? We had her and her family in the locker room while they were warming up, and we kept them in the locker room when the players came in and for the pregame meeting. To a man, everyone hugged her and thanked her for being there. And you look at her daughter, for example, and she's in tears. And you know, to make a family feel good at a time when they essentially feel really bad because they're getting ready to lose someone that they love. And to be able to do something like that, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a great story. Coach, we'll get you out of here on this. Is Iowa going to be in the NCAA tournament come next March?
We certainly have a team capable of doing that. We recognize the challenge ahead of us. We've upgraded the schedule. The conference is still phenomenal. You look at the teams we're going to play next year twice: Ohio State, Michigan State, Michigan, Illinois, Northwestern. We have some single play games, but it's a very difficult schedule we have in front of us. But we're experienced. As I've said, we're bigger, we're deeper, and we're more experienced than we've ever been. We're also going to have an opportunity to practice 10 extra days in the summer as we take our team overseas. I think we have enough offense, and most importantly, we have the character necessary to take that step.
All right. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming in.
Thanks so much.
Fran McCaffery, our Daily Iowan Man of the Year.